Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I'm asking the question, is technology isolating us and creating more anxiety than ever before in society? And the reason why I'm talking about this is some new research from Ohio State University came out in this exact subject, and I think the numbers are absolutely fascinating and very telling as to where we are, and I've got some notes here. Now, these researchers gathered 269 undergraduate students, and basically these students had to have experience with at least one dating app. This is like Tinder or Bumble or, take your pick. And they actually had to answer a whole bunch of different questions designed to measure loneliness and social anxiety. So participants were asked basically to state if they agreed with statements like, and I quote, I am unable to reduce the amount of time I spend on dating apps. Now this is designed to also measure addiction and compulsive use as well. Now, here's the fascinating thing about this. Many of these participants admitted that they have had experienced negative consequences due to overusing dating apps, such as missing class or work. And what's interesting is researchers also noted that participants who ranked high in social anxiety stated that they would prefer basically talking to potential dates online as opposed to actually meeting them in person. Now, I think this is rather interesting here, but the study finds that social anxiety or loneliness alone didn't lead to compulsive use, but the presence of both traits almost always led to overuse and negative life consequences. Now, I think this is actually rather true. Now, I think what we've seen, at least anecdotally, and now we have some numbers to back it up, is that as technology has progressed, has grown, and all of these things over the years, we have become more isolated. We know that whether it's our personal life or school or business or whatever, many times we don't actually have to talk or interact with people beyond, let's say, an email or a text message or a messaging app. We don't even have to pick up the phone a lot of times to talk to people anymore. And I think that's really changing fundamentally what society is. Now, if we're thinking about this, we are literally, as we are growing up, building these social networks, learning how to interact with people. And all of a sudden, now thanks to technology, we are raising a generation that really doesn't have to develop that skill. And what does that say about all of us? Now, I know that this is probably going to increase loneliness, and by virtue of this, we have seen online, that we basically can be anonymous with this and then vent our frustration online. So I like to say that social media, specifically Twitter, is where civility goes to die, and I think this really underscores that point. I mean, I think we've all anecdotally, at least myself, if I'm out with, like, let's say my friends or my wife or something like that, and we're out to dinner, we will occasionally see people that are younger than us, although I am not admitting I am old here, and they'll be on their phones, maybe saying two words to each other through the entire course of the meal, but their entire life existence is on their mobile device, interacting with, whatever it is, whether it's a game, other people, and all of that. And so, how do we combat this? How do we see this rise in loneliness, this lack of let's say personal contact, not to mention the development of interpersonal skills that is lacking in a situation like this? And how do we correct that? Do we correct that? Is this just the way society is going to be? Is that we are going to basically create a new condition and foundation for interaction that really excludes personal contact? And if so, how do we continue procreation? How do we perpetuate a society? So I think it's questions that we need to ask. And I think these are questions that humanity really has never had to tackle before, because in order to, let's say, conduct business or get school done or actually interact with your friends overall, outside of, let's say, writing a letter that would be taken by Pony Express or something, humans had to go face to face. They had to interact. They had to learn those skills. Dating was a very personal thing back in the day. I didn't have to swipe right or swipe left on somebody, and I think we are literally changing what the world is right now. So that is your news of the day. I think it's fascinating. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and this problem is not going to stop. I think it's only going to get worse. So we should probably figure out a solution if we can. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.